Imagine, if you can, a Tim Burton movie with circus people running around like crazy, and with Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito going head to head. No, I am not talking about Batman Returns. What's going on, y'all? My name is Robert Adams from the Cinefanatics, and I just got out of Dumbo. I am a huge fan of Dumbo. I loved the cartoon when I was a kid. It was another one of those things that I watched all the time, every Saturday, along with Mary Poppins, Pinocchio. So I am a huge fan of the original movie. So I was excited when they said that they were going to do a remake of it, or a live-action version, I should say. I'm not exactly sure why Tim Burton was the one put in charge of this. There really wasn't anything from the older Dumbo cartoon that lent itself to need to be redone by Tim Burton. But it is kind of a fantasy picture as far as, like, you know, a flying elephant. The one thing to point out about this movie is it is split into 3 stories. The first story is pretty much a retelling of the Dumbo cartoon, basically Dumbo's origin story. The second part kind of sets up the new story that we're going with from there on. There is a lot more focus on the human characters in this movie, unlike the original cartoon movie that had more of a focus on the animals themselves. So there is a lot more between, say, like Colin Farrell's character and his kids that are helping to raise and train Dumbo. There's also Danny DeVito's character, who is the ringmaster of the circus that Dumbo belongs to at first. And then there's also Michael Keaton, who basically plays a more realistic P.T. Barnum than Hugh Jackman. He is someone who is of that fanciful circus mind. He goes around spouting things like, "We make the impossible possible," like all that stuff that you hear a showman in the circus typically say. But he's also, like, essentially the villain of the movie. He wants to exploit everything and doesn't care how he does it. And then the third part of this story ends up being kind of a heist movie type of thing. This is almost like Ocean's 11, only with circus acts and elephants, and yeah, you'll have to see it for that to make sense. I don't want to spoil as to exactly what's going on. There's definitely some Tim Burton-like in this, in the way that things are shot, the looks. There are bits and pieces of this movie that are supposed to be creepy, so Tim Burton just kind of injects his look and thoughts and feelings into this movie. I do like the nods that they had to the original cartoon. Outside of retelling the story, there were the nods like you saw in the trailer, the pink elephant bubble flying, little stuff like that. Some of the songs were kind of used in the background, like the Casey Jr. song about the train, the Baby Mine Don't You Cry song, but the phrase that the crows say about, well, I've seen a housefly, I've seen a dragonfly, but I never seen an elephant fly. That phrase is still kept in this movie and is said by a really weird person at a really weird spot in the movie, and I don't know why, but yeah, a lot of good nods. I appreciated those. The story, again, was good. Be a fantastic movie for the kids. Otherwise, I mean, I can see why basically this movie doesn't seem to be hitting quite as high with some critics and some of the audience scores, especially if you're looking like at what Rotten Tomatoes puts it at. It's understandable, but at the same time, it is a fairly decent movie. And I would recommend it for, like, parents with kids, for families to go see. The best part, easily, hands down, about this movie was Dumbo. That little elephant is absolutely adorable. Like, you want to hug and cuddle. You just want to play with this little baby elephant. The way that they did the CGI on this elephant, just absolutely adorable. And like every time Dumbo's on screen, your heart just melts a little because he makes little squeaky sounds and stuff, or if he's about to fly, he holds his little feather up in the air, and it's so cute. Otherwise, yeah, my overall feelings on this, pretty decent movie. I'd recommend it. Out of 5, I would say I'd give this movie 3 flying elephants out of 5. Yeah, Dumbos, basically. Anyways, So, did you see the movie? What did you think of the movie? Let us know down below. Let's have a chat about it. Also, if you like this review, make sure you hit that like button and share it with your friends and family. Also, you can hit the subscribe button up here above my head, or you can go over here and check out these other videos that we have available on our channel. And as always, I think I will have seen everything when I see an elephant fly. Later. Ooh, good thing the crows weren't in this one. Smart move, Disney.